This week is 2 for the price of 1 as GMC goes on the road and plays 2 top opponents. This is the place for your highlights. You're watching The Burt Williams Show. Coach, we start the season on the road, traveling to a neutral site in Mississippi to play a talented Blinn college team that's has some recent success and always been a good team.
Yeah, one of the things that people know about Blinn is the Cam Newton story. You know, he went there before he went to Auburn, won the national championship at Blinn, then again at Auburn. But as far as the talent level, you know, nobody's second to Blinn. They do have a little bit of a younger team this year, but extremely talented. So we knew we'd have our work cut out for us. Going out on the road to start the season, and it was all it promised to be.
And looking forward at these clips, what are we looking for? Anything different with GMC, scheme-wise, what we're going to see on film?
I think the biggest thing we wanted to do in the off-season is get more in tune with what we wanted offensively. Same stuff, but execute it better than we did last year. Defensively, we went back a little bit to basics. We were playing a little bit more zero shade with our down guys, moving them a little bit more and a little bit more pressure from the linebackers. Kind of what close to what we were doing with the defense back when we went to it in the early 2000s.
Well, don't go anywhere. Your first half highlights are up next. You're watching The Burt Williams Show.
Guys, they're everywhere. They're killing us from the outside. We've got to cover the cracks and crevices. We cannot let them penetrate. Ready? Ready! We got to protect the perimeter! Let Bughouse get rid of your pest nightmare.
Elbows connected to the arm.
And your ears are connected to your brain.
Your legs connected to your toes. My elbow's connected to another part of my arm.
Your wrist is connected to your joint.
The hand's connected to the elbow.
Blinn comes out, wins the toss, defers, and this is the first time GMC touches the ball in 2013.
Yep, we were excited to get on the field, going against somebody else, and you know, guys were hyped up, probably a little bit too hyped this first offensive series. We do a couple things well, but I think our intensity overshadowed our focus on the offensive side, and you know, we pound away and get a first down here, and then we come back and have a couple penalties and have to punt. And freshman snapper, freshman punter right there, panicked a little bit on the high snap, and certainly not the way you want to start your first offensive possession with a safety.
And we come back here with a free kick off of this and come down, and just a great play by the special teams here creating a turnover.
Well, a great job filling in and just a big hit right there and knocking the ball loose, and that really gives us a good chance to come out and make an impact statement here, and we do. Pat Thomas to Ty Flournoy Smith. We had felt that they would roll the coverage over to the Twins and leave him open, and we guessed right on that one and was able to get a touchdown.
They come back here trying to run the option. GMC holds firm on the corner and nowhere to go. We pick the ball back up here and hitting it hard up the middle with Robinson, who really had a big day.
Yeah, he did. I tell you, our offensive line and our running backs in general really did a nice job, you know, with the experience at line we have returning. and the skill with Javon Robinson and Akeem Judd at tailback, really feel like we can be effective running the ball. And see an exciting freshman right there, Zyrekus Letman, on the tunnel screen, and then we give it to Javon again on some great running through traffic right there to get a touchdown for GMC.
And then they come back moving the ball and hit us right here just over the hands of the DB to put up a score and answer. Yeah,
I tell you, that their receiver was an excellent ball player. Stephen Houston, great corner for us, was half an inch from being able to break on that ball and maybe pick it. And safety was a little late getting there, but we gave up a score. Unfortunately, you can see us coming back. Pat on the scramble, kind of turned his ankle there a little bit. And we get the ball out to the flats, and you know, we cough it up right there, which is something that was probably the biggest disappointment in the game for us, was the 4 turnovers we committed. And you know, that's certainly not something you can expect to do and continue to get wins. But Quintavious Knight right there, nice interception in return, getting the ball away from the goal line for us. Montez McGuire, big physical returning receiver for us. Nice catch and run there. And you can see, again, the common theme, good, effective power running right there. Offensive line's fired up. They like blocking for those 2 running backs so they can sure make them right, and do a nice job right here dumping the ball to Akeem Judd out of the backfield.
Just a nice move by Akeem to keep picking some yards up. We come right back again, giving the ball to Robinson, and you can see what kind of leg drive he has, just a hard man to bring down.
Yeah, you know, that play's designed for like 1.5 to 2 yards, and he's averaging about 8 to 9 on it. And then we come out with a little hitch and go right there to Darius Williams, a freshman receiver, and gets GMC on the board one more time.
And here we come, one of those big D ends coming off the edge, showing a great motor there, getting to the quarterback.
Yeah, Devontae Covington ended the last thread of the first half with us right there. And we were able to go in with a lead and come back out. Don't start off with a very good kick as we kicked it out of bounds. But we ended up stopping them, got pinned a little bit deep. Pat does a nice job on the roll, throwing the pass and moving the chains. And then he kind of tries to force something here. We had a little scheme there that we had a lot of success with in the first half, but they started playing a squat corner in the boundary, and he just made a poor read and poor judgment right there. But we come back out on offense, and you know, we need to move the chains and come out and battle with these guys, not let them get any momentum from that last big play. And you can see some nifty running right there, but then we lose our ball security, and Akeem puts it on the carpet and we turn it over.
And right when the defense really needs to step up here, you see that D-line again creating pressure, causing a sack and a turnover on downs.
It's big Devontae Lambert right there. There's a reason he was recruited by about everybody in the country at DN. Really had a nice game for us, and got the ball back. And you can see us coming back out here on offense. We're moving the ball through the air a little bit. Another tunnel screen, this time to Montez McGuire, and just about get that one in the end zone there.
Yeah, great job of open field running there. And we come back here with the quarterback, Thomas, going to find in the end zone right there on the corner route. Nice throw and catch.
Yeah, it was. You know, that's kind of one of those close plays, and you know, the guy's right there on it. We kind of thought he was in, but he said he didn't quite cross the plane, and we had come back out with the quarterback sneak, and O-line does a nice job punching it in. And defense comes out, calls another turnover to get us the ball back here, and a nice throw and catch to another freshman receiver, Brennan Griffin.
And we'll come back out here running a quarterback draw with Bird, who really does a good job of running the ball too and keeping the chains moving.
Yeah, he does, and he's a very effective passer as well. Really want to see him in the game a little bit more as we get through the season. He does some exciting things, and Javon some more tough running. You can see a great block right there by Javon as well, and Pat on the rollout pass decides to take it in himself, and comes up just short of the goal line, but we punch it back in there with Javon for another score.
We come back out, they're going to be here trying to run that option again, and we just would not let them have that all day long.
I tell you, that was a little bit of concern coming into the game, you know, because we don't see a lot of true option teams, and they were trying to run that, and until you saw Shaq Rooks on that tackle right there doing a nice job, and he's kind of come out for us. And again, you see another poor judgment trying to force something, and we throw a second pick six on the game. That was disappointing.
And then they come back out here, the defense stops them on the next drive and try a field goal, and we're able to block it.
Yeah, you know, it's good to keep them from getting any momentum right there. There was a penalty after the touchdown or whatever on the extra point. And, good to take a little momentum back, and then a big return certainly helps as well. Q Knight coming out of there and does a nice job setting us up. And again, you can see his power in the head, and Javon Robinson doing a nice job toting the mail.
And here he comes again right in the middle, and he really can work. He works so well in between the tackles in tight space.
Well, he has such a low center of gravity, and when he cuts forward. You know, he doesn't cut backwards, he doesn't cut laterally, he cuts forward, and he's always looking to gain yards, and I think he's really going to have a good year for us. Certainly excited to know he's on our sideline.
And then we come back here in a field goal, and this is last play of the game, them trying to create something, the D-line not letting them have anything, and there's your ball game.
Tell you, it was great to go get a win in that first opening game of 2013 against a strong, quality opponent. All the Texas junior colleges have great talent, and when you can get a win against any of them, it's always something that's meaningful and certainly a good way to start our year.
And I said first half highlights when we were starting. We didn't mean whole game highlights because now we're going to come back and you're going to go on the road again, traveling all the way to Utah to face a #2 team in snow. Quite a challenge.
Yeah, my staff and a lot of our fans kind of wondering if I lost my head at the schedule we put together this year. We've got a very tough schedule, maybe tougher than last year. A lot of highly ranked opponents, but being an independent, that's the type of thing we have to do to put a good quality schedule together. So starting with Blinn was a stern challenge, and now going on the road to #2 in the country, Snow College, all the way out in Utah. It was going to be a barn burner. We knew that from the start.
Well, Game 2 highlights are coming up next. You're watching The Burt Williams Show.
Excuse me, your change.
It's nice to know you can trust people. State Farm is counting on it. They want you to talk to your neighbors, then call a State Farm agent, find out how you can get discounts up to 40%. See, State Farm insures 40 million drivers. That's more than Geico and Progressive combined.
Then call State Farm agent Karen Rowell at 478-452-4502.
When you get your statement from your financial representative, are you confused by all the extra fees? Grant Financial Group ends the confusion with flat-rate, fee-based asset management. Our team of professionals can handle all the financial needs for your business or your personal assets at significantly lower cost. We have relationships for everything from accounting to legal issues with a premium on service for you. Come see us today and let Grant Financial Group provide you with long-term success in your financial future.
Elbows connected to the arm.
And your ears are connected to your brain.
Your legs connected to your toes. My elbows connected to another part of my arm.
Your wrist is connected to your joint.
The hands connected to the elbow.
Coach, we win the toss and elect to receive the game and get underway in Utah.
Yeah, I tell you, the guys were excited, looking forward to this game. Had a big win against Snow last year at home, and knew that coming out to Utah and playing them at their home was going to be an even greater challenge. And good way to start right there. First play of the game, Pat Thomas to Montez McGuire down the sideline, and here we go, a little razzle dazzle here. Coach Robinson dialed up the reverse and really felt like we should have scored right there. We missed a block. Brighton Griffin did a nice job running and getting us down there close to the 10. And come back out here, we have a protection mix-up over there at our left tackle. Pat has to pull it down and scramble.
That's where the drive stalls, and we come out here and try a short field goal. And just looks like it may have been tipped right there, no good. Well, Snow comes back here in the highlights and moves the ball down the field, and here they are inside our 20.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a low snap and hold, and the kicker broke his stride to the ball and, again, missed a field goal that we would have liked to have. But Snow put a nice drive together, came all the way down the field, and we just missed there. Corey Neely in coverage on the corner route, just missed, and Snow takes the early lead 7-0.
And we come back out here lining up in the eye, keeping the ball on the ground with Robinson, and you can see some more of that hard running. Yeah,
you're going to see a lot of it in this set of highlights. Javon really did some nice things on the day for us. And again, we're going to be a good running team. And I think you'll see a lot of that in these. But Pat right there ended up getting a penalty on that play to keep this drive alive. And Akeem Judd started getting going in this game, really had a good game for us as well. Nice running by him.
We come back out here in the shotgun, going to run a little hand sweep to the outside with Judd, and he's able to get the corner.
Yep, I tell you, the outside stretch was a good play for us on the day. We got two backs that are really good at running it, and we did a nice job fitting it and blocking it on the offensive line. And here's Pat doing a nice job. Coverage is downfield. He saw a crack in the line, and he took advantage of it and gave us a first down and moving the chains.
And here we come back, giving it to Robinson again, and you can see these big offensive linemen just firing off, and they really feel something special in that backfield because you can see that they're continuing that block down the field.
Well, I tell you, they were excited about blocking for number 1 and number 2. Both those guys can do some really special things with the ball, and that's an unbelievable combination as a coach to have two talented players like that and a good offensive line in front of them. But, we answer the score, come on down there and knot it up at 7 and feel a lot better about things. And defense is coming up, and I tell you, our defense on the day did a lot of good things. We bent at times and gave up a good bit of yardage, but we did a nice job keeping them out of the end zone. And, right here, great interception by Stephen Houston, nice return of the interception, getting the ball out of the shadow of the end zone there and giving us a chance to come out and do some things offensively. Unfortunately, we got a first down or two, and then we had to punt it away, and Snow got on the move again, getting down close to pay dirt.
They're going to come down here. We're going to get a lot of pressure off the edge and force an errant throw and another interception.
Yeah, I tell you, that was a little bit of a cherry picker. And right here, we make just a crazy decision. We've got a straight line towards a touchdown on the return, and Q Knight did a great job on the pick and return. Unfortunately, we had a player go in and block below the waist on the return, and that touchdown doesn't count for us.
We come back here, going to keep it on the ground again. You can see nice movement up front once again. And when he sees a hole, he knows what to do. He gets north and south. Always
moving forward, and it's like he always has a purpose in whatever he's doing there, carrying the ball. But nice physical run right there, just defeating, arm tackles, running through contact. And Javon makes a nice run after a great start in the game and puts us up 14-7.
And the field goal was good, and that does give us the field was good. They come back out here, and we're going to pick it up with Snow moving down the field and going for a field goal and converting to make it a 14-10 ball game.
Yeah, we felt like we had stopped them down deep on another drive, and then we're going, in the half. We had about a minute and a half. Then we got a nice run and a personal foul after it against them. Felt like we could go 2-minute drill, then it stalled, and they put together a couple of big plays and got in range. So going to half 14-10, feeling pretty good about what we're doing. Knowing we got to come out and play good to start the third quarter with them getting the ball. So we start off with a great kick. Brandon Rutherford's done a nice job. Had 3 touchbacks on the day, which is something, the leg strength is nice. It certainly helps the coverage. But Snow's coming out, working hard. We got them in 3rd and 10 here. We're trying to put some pressure on them, and ball comes out a little soft, and Chris Duffy, freshman defensive back, does a nice job coming in and intercepting the ball.
Then we come back here, and we're going to show Judd pop a big one that gets called back for a holding call, but a nice run and some great effort by the big man down the sidelines.
Yeah, I tell you, we had some nice blocking right there, and it was kind of one of those calls. Could have been made, could have not been made, but it was. So unfortunately, we got to come back and overcome it and put a pair of fresh legs in there. We're pretty much swapping series with Akeem and Javon does a nice job taking it right back down that same sideline. And we come in and we fake that inside run that we've been so successful with and dump it to Ty Smith in the end zone for the touchdown.
And the D holds up the next series. We're going to pick us up here on the move again and keeping it on the ground with Robinson.
Yeah, defense, again, nice job forcing the punt. We got the ball down deep, but Javon doing a great job running through contact, keeping his feet moving the chains for us. Bring Akeem in. Little fake right there, and their safeties were really biting downhill in a hurry when we were show and run. That's how they were trying to stop our rushing game. So Coach Robinson on the sideline kind of drew this one up in the dirt a little bit, and it worked exceptionally well, as everybody can see, and we extend the lead to 28-10.
And the defense is going to come back, hold again, and here we go again on the ground, still churning yards.
They had just great, tough running. Guys are doing a good job staying on blocks, opening holes for him to get through to pop it to that second level. And, that drive unfortunately ended up stalling right there. Defense came back out, and nice pass breakup by Stephen Houston. But they got the ball down deep right here, and they were able to punch it in for a score to kind of close the gap on us.
We come back, still going to be working that outside zone play right here on the next drive, and just a great cut back here by Robinson hitting the back door.
Yeah, well, they came up with another answer, tried to blitz the guy off the inside receiver right there. Javon saw it and saw a little bit of daylight behind the play and stuck his toe in the ground and got north. And we go for it here on 4th down. We're on our side of the field, feeling pretty good about our defense and about our O-line and running backs here. So we went for it, and obviously it paid off there. And we ended up turning the ball over on downs way down low and gave them a long field to go, and we eventually stopped them. And then Javon rips off another big run for us down the left sideline.
Then the drive stalls, and here we go with Snow on the move again, getting some good pressure outside, and just opportunity knocks, and the ball pops right into his hands.
Yeah, great job there. Kendarius Whitehead off the edge. He's out of Atlanta and really got a chance to be a really good player for us. And then Blake Robbins recovered that fumble and got the ball back for us. And again, just pounding away. You know, this is something you know, we feel like we're going to be pretty good at this year against most anybody. And Javon does a nice job taking the isolation play. The offensive line fit into their blitz very well right there. Javon found a crack and took it to pay dirt.
Here we go, one of their last plays of the game here. They're going to drop back into pistol formation, completed over the middle, but time expires on them, and just a great win over a number 2 team in the country, Coach.
Anytime you go on the road and beat a good team, it's a good thing. When you go on the road and you beat the number 2 team in the country who hadn't lost at home in years, that's a big win. That's a good job by our guys. It's a very long, difficult trip to get out there. And to be able to handle the travel, play a great team, and come out and do well and get a big win, I think it speaks a lot about our kids and the way that they're committed to getting the job done this year.
And you know, there's a lot of offensive highlights on that reel, but they actually had 88 plays and 514 yards, but only 17 points. Speaks a lot to that bend but don't break, you said the defense did. Absolutely,
and really they got a short field on 10 of those points due to turnovers that we had in the game. So, you know, I really like the intensity of our defense and what we're doing right now. We made some changes in the offseason. Rob Manchester and Brian Hill working with our front, tweaking some things, playing more zero shade like we talked about at the start of the show, moving those guys, getting the linebackers playing downhill more, bringing a little bit more pressure. But so far it's paid off, and we've had a lot of success with it.
And creating turnovers, always a good thing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We'll be right back to wrap things up. You're watching The Burt Williams Show.
Excuse me. Your change.
It's nice to know you can trust people. State Farm is counting on it. They want you to talk to your neighbors, then call a State Farm agent, find out how you can get discounts up to 40%. See, State Farm insures 40 million drivers. That's more than Geico and Progressive combined.
Then call State Farm agent Karen Rowell at 478-452-4502.
Guys, they're everywhere. They're killing us from the outside. We've got to cover the cracks and crevices. We cannot let them penetrate. Ready?
Ready!
We got to protect the perimeter. Let Bughouse get rid of your pest nightmare.
Elbows connected to the arm.
And your ears are connected to your brain.
Your legs connected to your toes. My elbows connected to another part of my arm.
Your wrist is connected to your joint.
The hands connected to the elbow.
Coach, you travel back to Davenport Field this week, getting back at home finally after 2 long road trips, and you're going to play a team we've come pretty familiar with in the Atlanta Sports Academy.
Yeah, I tell you, the Atlanta Sports Academy Spartans it's a relatively new program, postgraduate program north of Atlanta. A lot of talent, a lot of team speed. We've played them twice. We've been able to get a win both times, but both have been very hard-fought games. Last year, we had a 24-13 victory, 14-13 at halftime, and we had to battle our tails off to get the win. So, you know, this is certainly, it's no let-up from who we're having to play on the field going into this week, but it sure is nice to be able to do it at home.
What about injuries after those 2 hard road trips? Are we holding together okay injury-wise?
Yeah, generally pretty good shape. You know, you got your normal bumps and bruises you always get during the season, but nobody is seriously hurt to where they're going to have to miss a game. We may limit some reps going into this game on some guys to help them get over the hump a little bit, get them a little bit closer to 100%, but everybody that we expect to need to play will be available to us on Saturday at this point anyway.
Game plan-wise, still looking at kind of similar what we saw there, a lot more ground and pound, so to speak?
Well, we're going to run the ball every game in some way, shape, or form. That's a strength of what we do offensively, and it doesn't take away from what we're capable of doing as far as the passing attack because we have a very good group of wide receivers and 2 quarterbacks that can get the ball to them. You know, we can control the game on the ground, I think, against most people. So that'll be a part of everything we do. And I think going into this game, ASA has some new coordinators and all, so they may have some different looks scheme-wise going in. They started their season. They have 2 squads, and they started the season with the squad we'll play against Nassau, long road trip for them, and lost on the road in a game that was very close through 3 quarters. So we know that there's going to be a good team on the field, and we're going to have to do very well to get a win in our home opener.
Who's been your biggest surprise so far? Your young guy that's really stepped up, that's been your most pleasant surprise?
Probably some of the young guys in the receiving corps, Zyreka Sletman, Darius Williams, Brighton Griffin, Brennan Griffin, Brighton's younger brother. All those guys have really done some nice things for us in the receivers. And I tell you, we've had a couple of local guys here to Milledgeville, Taylor Payne and Dante Beckham from GMC High School and Baldwin High School, respectively. And those guys in the first 2 games have accumulated 20 tackles between them and really done a nice job for us. They both play the dog safety position. So those guys have stepped forward. And then we had transfer Kendarius Whitehead. We saw in some of the highlights against Snow, and Devontae Covington, another defensive end. Long, fast, you know, guys that are learning how to play the college game, and I think are going to be very impacting for us back there. And then probably the other guy that really has jumped forward and been an impact player for us is Corey Neely, free safety, who's done some nice things. So excited to see what we're doing, excited to see how some of these young guys are going to develop hand in hand with our older guys as we go through this season, and feel really good about things at this point.
Well, come out and support the Dogs on Saturday at 1 o'clock and join us here next week. You've been watching The Burt Williams Show.